What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Strung Out, as well as a very sleepy Luca. And we're going back to their 1998 album, Twisted by Design. And the second tune is Exhumation of Virginia Madison. So I was curious because, I'm an American historian. The name Virginia Madison was a pen name used by a woman who lived in Richmond at the end of the Civil War, and she wrote about her observations. So I was curious if it had anything to do with that. And again, presumably when the song starts, I will recognize it on some level. I did have this album, and even though the only two tunes that come back to me very clearly are the one we just went through, Too Close to See, and the last track on the regular part of the album, Matchbook, I did listen to the album in total, like I did most albums back in the day. So like I said, presumably along the way there will be multiple tunes where they will come back to me sonically, but I didn't remember the lyrics, so I looked them up in advance. I don't think it has anything to do with the woman who lived in Richmond in the mid-1860s. Instead, it seems to be about a man who has this idea that this woman took her life because she couldn't take it anymore, but they had this special bond, and so he wanted to lie in eternal repose with her. It sounds like he was thinking he was going to take his own life at the spot where they used to be. And so he goes to dig her up, and he's, exhuming the coffin, and then poof, he wakes up in his home, and he's like, wait a minute, what the, it seemed so real, but now here I am, and I'm soaking wet, and maybe he was, sleepwalking, and he actually was digging in the ground somewhere. But the whole idea of this woman who, couldn't take life anymore and, took her own life, and he was gonna, follow that and, put on his Sunday best and, lie with her, buried and everything. Suddenly he's in his living room or something, and he thinks man, I'm watching too much TV, and it's some crazy dream that's probably based on something I saw when I was, half awake. So it's a really interesting song that takes this, what feels like this preternatural story about, a Romeo and Juliet kind of, star-crossed lovers who didn't actually get to live out their passion for each other, and then suddenly it's oh wait, no, maybe I was sleepwalking in the backyard or something, and I, was digging in the ground, but that was just some crazy fantasy that my brain thought of. So I was amused by the lyrics, and I definitely didn't remember that. So let's listen to it. This is Strung Out, Exhumation of Virginia Madison, from the 1998 album Twisted by Design. Doesn't come back yet. This part comes back. She don't want to live no more. almost like, I don't know, that line at the end is like he's going to a place where he buried Virginia Madison, so then it's like, oh wait, like, because it raises the question of whether it's the unreliable narrator thing, where what they're saying is happening could only be part of the story. You know, some of the most interesting novels I've read play off that, like, you know, the Fight Club novel is a classic example where you don't realize what's happening because you're getting it through the very specific, and in that case, warped perspective of the protagonist. But yeah, if I was reading the lyrics, you know, as I saw them on the page beforehand, it sounds like it was all a sort of effed up dream that, you know, he felt, but then once he woke up, he can't really explain it other than to say, I think I'm just watching too much TV and this stuff is getting in my head and making me have these weird fantasies in my dreams. But then at the end, that line, the phrasing, I wonder whether that was like, oh wait, maybe he did actually kill someone or something, and this is, you know, like it's eating away at his conscience in like an Edgar Allan Poe sort of way. But yeah, bottom line, I wait to hear Paulie's comments on this one. I also, once again, should mention that in this case, it was just the chorus that, like, she said she, like, what is it, like, can't take, I forget exactly the line, but I do have the lyrics out still, I think. But it was the lead-in, what is it? Yeah, she said she don't want to live no more. That line, like, the melody of it came back. So I don't know if that actually is the chorus. Like, the way the lyrics are written on the old internet didn't seem to list them that way. But either way, a cool tune. Looking forward to the rest of the album. As I said, it'll be interesting as we go through this, how much comes back and whether it's, you know, just bits and pieces of some tunes or whether it pretty much happens with every tune. So anyway, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.